based on the DC Comics character of the same name. Distributed by Warner Brothers Pictures, it is the sixth film in the DC Extended Universe, DCEU. The film was directed by James Wan, from a screenplay by David Leslie Johnson-McGoldrick and Beall, and stars Jason Momoa as Aquaman, with Amber Heard, Willem Dafoe, Patrick Wilson, Dolph Lundgren, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Ludi Lin, and Nicole Kidman in supporting roles. In the film, Aquaman sets out to lead the underwater kingdom of Atlantis, replacing his half-brother, King Orm, who seeks to unite the 7 underwater kingdoms against the surface world. Development began in 2004 but did not gain traction until Man of Steel was released in 2013. In August 2014, Beall and Kurt Johnstad were hired to write competing scripts. Wan signed on as director in April 2015, and in July 2016, the film moved forward with Beall as its screenplay. The main cast was confirmed through 2016 and early 2017. Principal photography began in Australia in May 2017, taking place at Village Roadshow Studios on the Gold Coast, Queensland, with additional production teams in Canada, Italy, and Morocco. Filming concluded the following October. Several vendors provided visual effects, ranging from high-detail hair simulations to the creation of CGI animals and locations. Aquaman premiered in London on November 26, 2018, and was released in the United States on December 21st. It grossed over $1.1 billion worldwide, making it the highest-grossing film, the highest-grossing film based on the DC Comics character, surpassing 2012's The Dark Knight Rises, the 5th highest-grossing film of 2018, and 20th highest of all time at the time. The film received mixed reviews from critics, who praised Wan's direction, the visual effects and performances, but criticized for its dialogue, runtime and plot. The sequel, Aquaman 2, is set for release on December 16, 2022, and a spin-off, The Trench, is in development. In 1985, Maine lighthouse keeper Thomas Curry rescues Atlanta, the queen of the underwater kingdom of Atlantis. They fall in love and have a son named Arthur, who has the power to communicate with sea creatures. When Atlantean soldiers are sent to retrieve Atlanta, who fled her arranged marriage in Atlantis, she is forced to abandon her family and return to Atlantis, entrusting her advisor, Wilco, to train Arthur. Becoming a skilled warrior, Arthur rejects Atlantis upon learning that Atlanta was executed for having a half-breed son. In the present day, several months after Steppenwolf's invasion, Arthur confronts pirates hijacking a Russian Aquila-class submarine. Their leader, Jesse Kane, is killed in a failed attempt to kill Arthur, and his son David vows revenge. Orm, king of Atlantis and Arthur's half-brother, attempts to convince King Nereus of Zebul to help unite Atlantis and attack the surface world for polluting the oceans. Nereus notes that if Orm unites all 4 kingdoms, he will receive the title of Ocean Master, commander of the most powerful force on the planet. A Russian submarine attacks and is destroyed by Orm, convincing Nereus to join forces to defend the oceans. Nereus' daughter Mera, betrothed to Orm, refuses to aid them and journeys to the surface to ask Arthur for help. He refuses, but Mera earns his trust by saving Thomas from a tsunami sent by Orm. Arthur reluctantly accompanies Mera to a rendezvous with Wilco, who urges Arthur to find the Trident of Agon, a magic artifact of Atlantis' first ruler, to reclaim his rightful place as king. They were ambushed by Orm's men, and Arthur is captured. Arthur is chained and presented to Orm, who blames him and the surface for Atlanta's death. He offers Arthur an opportunity to leave forever, but Arthur challenges him to a duel in the ring of underwater lava. Orm gains the upper hand and nearly kills Arthur before Mera rescues him. Arthur and Mera journey to the fallen kingdom of the deserters hidden under the Sahara Desert, where the Trident was forged, and unlock a holographic message that leads them to Sicily, Italy, where they retrieve the Trident's coordinates. Orm meets David, revealing that the submarine Matt attacked was the one hijacked by David, hired by Orm to stage an attack from the surface to win Nereus' support. Orm gives David a prototype prototype Atlantean battlesuit to kill Arthur, imprisons Vilko, and coerces the Atlantean kingdom of the fishermen to pledge their allegiance to him by killing their king and forcing the queen and princess, who is next in line for the throne, to assemble their forces out of fear. An armored David rechristens himself Black Manta and ambushes Arthur and Mera in Sicily, grievously injuring Arthur before he is thrown off a cliff to his apparent death. Mera nurses Arthur's wounds as they seek the trident and encourages him to embrace his destiny as king. At their destination, Arthur and Mera fend off amphibious monsters of the trench, and the wormhole transports them to an uncharted sea at the center of the earth. They are reunited with Atlanta, who was sacrificed to the trench for having Arthur but escaped to the uncharted sea, alive and well. Arthur faces the Carathan, a mythical leviathan and keeper of the trident, and voices his determination to protect both Atlantis and the surface, proving his worth and reclaiming the trident, which grants him control over the seven seas. Orm and his allies lead an army against the crustacean forces of the Kingdom of the Brine to complete Orm's preparations. As Orm declares himself Ocean Master, Arthur and Mera, with the assistance of Carathan and the Trench, lead an army of marine creatures against him. Orm's followers embrace Arthur as the true king upon learning he wields Atlan's trident. Arthur defeats Orm in combat but spares his life, and Orm accepts his fate after discovering Arthur has rescued their mother. Atlanta reunites with Thomas, while Arthur ascends to the throne with Mera by his side. In a mid-credits scene, David is rescued by Dr. Stephen Shin, a marine scientist and conspiracy theorist obsessed with Atlantis, and agrees to lead Shin there in exchange for helping his revenge on Arthur. In 2004, FilmJerk.com reported that Sunrise Entertainment's Alan and Peter Reich planned to bring Aquaman to the big screen for Warner Brothers, with Robert Bengard writing the screenplay. However, the attempt fell through. In July 2009, it was reported that Aquaman was in development at Leonardo DiCaprio's Appian Way. Warner chairman and CEO Barry Meyer said that an Aquaman film was in development. After Man of Steel's release in 2013, a source from Warner Brothers told The Wrap that they were discussing future films, with the mention of more Man of Steel movies as well as a Superman, Batman film, a Wonder Woman film and an Aquaman film. Jeff Johns told Variety that Aquaman was a priority character. On August 12, 2014, Warner Brothers announced that it had hired screenwriters Will Beall and Kurt Johnstad to pen separate scripts. The film was developed on dual tracks, although only the better version would move forward. On April 10, 2015, The Hollywood Reporter reported that James Wan was the front-runner to direct. In June 2015, Wan was confirmed to direct and overlook the screenplay by Johnstad. On November 12, 2015, David Leslie Johnson-McGoldrick was hired to write the script. However, it was unclear whether his would be separate or work with Wan. Previous script plans had been scrapped and Wan and Johns planned to move forward with a new script written by Beall. Later, Johnson-McGoldrick was brought back to the project to rewrite Beall's script. In March 2016, it was announced that the events of Aquaman would be set after Justice League. Wan confirmed that cinematographer Don Burgess, who had previously worked with Wan on The Conjuring 2, would serve as cinematographer. Pre-production began in Australia in late November 2016. In October 2014, Warner Brothers announced Aquaman as a part of the DC Extended Universe, with Jason Momoa starring. On October 20, 2014, Momoa revealed that he was preparing for a Justice League film, and that he did not know whether a solo Aquaman film would come before or after. He thought it might be an origin story. In December 2014, it was revealed that Momoa had signed a 4-picture deal with a studio in DCEU, and he wanted Zack Snyder to direct. On January 13, 2016, The Hollywood Reporter announced that Amber Heard had entered negotiations to play Mera. Her casting was confirmed 2 months later. Gina Carano, Maggie Q, Ronda Rousey and Debbie Gibson were also considered for the role of Mera. In April 2016, Willem Dafoe was cast in an undisclosed role, 36, later revealed to be nude as Vilko. On December 12, 2016, it was confirmed that Patrick Wilson would play Aquaman's half-brother. On January 31, 2017, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II was added to the cast as Black Manta, Aquaman's archenemy in the comics. That same day, press reports noted that Nicole Kidman had entered talks to play Queen Atlanta. 2 months later, Kidman confirmed her participation. By February 2017, New Zealand actor Temuera Morrison had entered talks to play Thomas Curry. On April 12, Dolph Lundgren was cast as Nereus. Ludi Lin was cast in the film on May 15, 2017. Almost 2 weeks later, Michael Beach, who voiced Devil Ray, a character loosely based on Black Manta in Justice League Unlimited, was cast as Black Manta's father. In October 2017, Graham McTavish revealed that he had a role. In April 2018, Randall Park was cast as Dr. Stephen Shin, 47, and in July, Jimin Hounsoo, Natalia Safran and Sophia Forrest were cast as the Fisherman King, Fisherman Queen, and the Fisherman Princess, respectively. In November 2018, it was revealed that Julie Andrews had a voice role. Principal photography began in Australia on May 2, 2017, under the working title Ahab. The majority of the film was shot at Village Roadshow Studios in Gold Coast, Queensland, with additional production in Newfoundland, Sicily, and Morocco. Between May and August 2017, location shooting took place on the Australian Gold Coast, including Main Beach, Coolora, Southport, and Amity Point in North Stradbroke Island, Queensland, as well as Hastings Point in New South Wales. On filming underwater sequences, Wan stated that the underwater world is super complicated and it's not an easy shoot. Filming would have begun on the lighthouse set at Hastings Point on August 11, 2017, and ended later that month. Filming took place in Newfoundland and Labrador. Willem Dafoe finished up his part by late September. On October 13, James Wan announced that Patrick Wilson had wrapped. Filming on location took place in Morocco by mid-October, which included the cities of Merzouga and Rafoud. Principal photography wrapped on October 21, 2017. James Wan's 5-time collaborator Kirk Morey served as the editor for Aquaman. 2-time Academy Award winner Charles Gibson, Babe and Pirates in the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, and Kelvin McElway, Fast and Furious franchise, served as overall visual effects supervisors. On November 3, 2018, Wan announced that post-production was complete. On March 7, 2018, Rupert Gregson Williams was announced as the composer for Aquaman. Gregson Williams previously wrote the score for Wonder Woman, the 4th film in the DC Extended Universe. The soundtrack was released by Water Tower Music on December 14, 2018. The album features an original song by American musician Skylar Grey titled Everything I Need, written by Gray and Elliot Taylor. Joseph Bishara, Wan's frequent collaborator, composed a piece called Trench Engage for the trench sequence. 2,300 visual effects shots, VFX, appear in the movie, completed by Industrial Light and Magic, ILM, Base FX, Rodeo FX, Scanline VFX, NEG, Luna Pictures, Waited Digital, Moving Picture Company, MPC, Method Studios, Digital Domain, and Clearing Studios. The visual effects for the director's cut were created at the same time as the theatrical cut. ILM was the lead VFX vendor and worked on creating Atlantis and all its CG animals, the Karath, and the final battle. Jeff White served as the VFX supervisor for ILM. For the underwater sequences, the actors were shot dry for wet on special tuning fork rigs designed by the FX team, and later the bodies of the actors were replaced with digital doubles in post-production. For creating Atlantis, the team relied on the designs provided by the art department. ILM's environment team created over 200 buildings, including the signature jellyfish buildings, and laid over 7,000 buildings in districts covering almost 600 square miles for the action to travel through. The underwater ships were modeled off organic creatures and designed to move that way. For the entrance and animated using keyframe animation. Approximately 700 shots in the film required high-detail hair simulations. ILM had to significantly improve their hair simulation software due to the unique aspects of hair flowing underwater. Normally, hair simulations use guide strands to define or influence the movement of groups of hair strands. This did not provide a satisfying look, so ultimately, ILM simulated strands individually, which required heavy computations. Additionally, Wan wanted to be able to direct the hair when the physically accurate simulation resulted in undesirable results. ILM delivered 670 shots. Blake digitally aged Willem Dafoe for the scene where his character Wilco drains the young Arthur. Jay Barton served as the VFX supervisor for Digital Domain. They worked on creating the Dead King's Island environment. For the sequence, the actors were shot in a pool of water against blue screen backgrounds, with Digital Domain adding CG extensions, waterfalls, mountains and dinosaurs in post-production. Most of the waterfalls in the scene were created using Houdini, while some were created using practical elements of things such as pouring salt and glass beads. They also built an extensive library of shot FX elements. The dinosaurs were animated using keyframe animation. Digital Domain delivered 1920 shots. David Nelson and Craig Wentworth served as VFX supervisors for Method Studios. Method handled the Sicily fight sequence between Arthur, Mira and Black Manta, Arthur's encounter with the Kirithan in the Well of the Souls, and his acquisition of Atlantis Trident. For the Sicily fight sequence, the team built the main square of the Italian village in terracotta tiled roofs set pieces that were backed with blue screen. A completely CG village was also created based on scans and documentation of the real village. For the Well of the Souls sequence, Momoa was film driver wet and captured on set in rigs that simulated underwater movements, but they ultimately felt restrictive, so artists replaced the majority of his performance with a digital body double and added a CG environment, Kirithan and Arthur's free-flowing locks. A specially designed 700 FPS shot was used in the scene where the camera travels through Arthur's eyes. Rodeo FX worked on two key sequences, with Sebastian Moreau as VFX supervisor. For the aquarium that young Arthur visits near the beginning, Rodeo FX used simulations as well as algorithms for the fish behavior. They created hard and soft corals by developing a colonization growth system, along with procedural stem and tentacle generation tools. They also created the environments for the Atlantis ruins below the desert. Artists used the Lego-type approach to layer the environment with a large amount of sand, dust, and rocks, all of which would realistically give way to the characters' interactions. From there, they sculpted ruined buildings, bridges, towers, statues, and temples, which were textured and shaded to add depth to the ruined city. Scanline VFX delivered 450 shots. Brian Hirota served as VFX supervisor. The main sequences produced by them were the lighthouse and its surrounding environment, the Aquaman title card that follows the Boston Aquarium, Aquaman pushing the submarine to the surface and rescuing the sailors inside, Orm's tidal wave that sweeps away Arthur and Tom, including the rescue and aftermath, Black Manta being paid by Orm for the submarine's delivery, and Arthur and Mira's visit to the Kingdom of the Drench. For the title card, the team relied on Rodeo's work on the aquarium sequence and simulated up to 60,000 fish. The tidal wave sequence was realized with a large-scale simulated wave, which was integrated with a combination of day-for-night footage, blue screen shots for the actors and truck interiors, a truck on a rotisserie rig, an interior cabin in a water tank, and VFX simulations for debris. For creating the lighthouse, a full-size house with the base of the lighthouse tower was constructed by the FX team. Additional house and dock sets were built on sound stages. A digital build-out was done to complete the lighthouse tower and extend the dock fully out into the sea. For the sequence where the camera pushes into a toy snow globe with a tiny lighthouse inside, a CG transition was created from the lighthouse's living room set to a fully CG winter coastline. For creating the trench creatures, motion capture was done on set by stunt performers. In March 2017, to filming. A first look at Aquaman was shown during CinemaCon in Las Vegas, Nevada, with Momoa introducing a video of director James Wan displaying a concept art sizzle reel. Later, on July 22nd, the film's footage made its debut at San Diego Comic-Con, SDCC, 2017 with a teaser presented by Momoa during the Warner Brothers panel. Director Wan presented the footage, stating that in a lot of ways, this is an origin story. In April 2018, another teaser, with new footage, was shown by Wan and Momoa at CinemaCon, joined by Amber Heard, Patrick Wilson and Yahya Abdul-Mateen II on stage. Wan teased the conflict between Arthur and Ocean Master, stating that it's almost a very classic Shakespearean story about brother from another world versus brother from another world. And it really is a classic story of sibling rivalry. On June 11, 2018, the film's first trailer was previewed at Cine Europe. On July 21, 2018, the first trailer was released at SDCC 2018, considered the best received trailer. It was later attached to theatrical showings of Teen Titans Go! To the movies, Mission Impossible, Fallout, The Meg, The Predator, and Venom. The cast appeared on Sunday, July 22nd, as guests on Conan with Conan O'Brien during SDCC. By late August, the studio held early test screenings with mixed to positive reactions shared on social media describing the film as good but not great. On October 5, 2018, a 5-minute extended video was released by Warner Brothers. The first official TV spot for the film came on October 16, followed by a second on November 1. The same month, character posters were released for Aquaman, Mera, Black Manta, Ocean Master, King Nereus, Queen Atlantis, and Ludi Lin. On November 7, the studio announced the promotion tour schedule, which would take place during November and December with fan events, screenings, and premieres, including Beijing, London, New York City, Manila, Los Angeles, Miami, Gold Coast, Sydney, and Honolulu. 94. Additionally, it was announced that the film would be screened on December 7, 2018, during Brazil Comic-Con, CCXP, in Sao Paulo. The following week, an official behind-the-scenes featurette was released, which included footage not seen in the mainstream trailers. 2 days later, the film's two main posters were released, depicting Aquaman and Mera in their costumes. On November 19th, the final trailer was released, alongside the announcement of ticket sales. The same day, 30 minutes of footage was shown in China during the first stop of the film's promotion tour, generating rave reactions. The film's financial success has been attributed to the studio's marketing plan that attracted a broad demographic, particularly women, through advertising, social media and promotional partners. Aquaman had its world premiere at the Empire, Leicester Square, in London on November 26, 2018. It was released in the United States by Warner Brothers Entertainment in RELD 3D, Dolby Cinema, IMAX, IMAX 3D, 4DX, and Screenx on December 21st. On November 19th, Atom Tickets announced that Amazon Prime members in the United States would have early access to tickets for a December 15th screening of the film at select Regal, National Amusements, ArcLight Cinemas and AMC Theaters. 103. The film was released in China on December 7, in the United Kingdom on December 12, 105, 106, in Argentina, Brazil, and Russia on December 13th, and in India on December 14th. It was previously set for July 27, 2018, and then moved to October 5, 2018, before settling on its release date. Aquaman was released for digital download on March 5, 2019, and on Blu-ray, 4K Blu-ray Ultra HD, 3D Blu-ray, and DVD on March 26. It has an estimated total of $23.3 million in US DVD sales, as well as an estimated total of $38.2 million in Blu-ray sales, bringing in a total of $61.6 million in domestic video sales. Aquaman grossed $335.1 million in the United States and Canada and $800 total worldwide gross of $1.148 billion. It became the highest-grossing installment in the DCEU and the highest-grossing film based on any DC character. Deadline Hollywood calculated the net profit of the film to be $260.5 million when factoring together all expenses and revenues, making it the fifth most profitable release of 2018. The day after announcing the early Amazon screenings, Aquaman's first 24-hour pre-sale totals became the highest in the history of Atom tickets, beating out Avengers: Infinity War as well as outpacing Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle, another film Amazon Prime had offered early to subscribers the previous December. The film made $2.9 million from the Amazon previous screenings at 1,225 theaters, higher than the $1.86 million made by Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle. In the United States and Canada, Aquaman was released alongside Bumblebee: Second Act, and Welcome to Marwen and was projected to gross $65 to $70 million in its opening weekend and $120 million over its first 5 days, with some tracking figures going as high as $150 million. The film made $28 million on its first day, including $9 million from Thursday night previews, a total of $13.7 million including the Amazon screenings and a Wednesday preview. It went on to debut at $67.9 million, $73.2 million including all early showings, topping the box office but marking the lowest opening of the DCEU. It then made $11 million on Monday and $22.1 million on Christmas Day, one of 6 films to ever gross over $20 million on the holiday. Its 5-day total opening was $105.7 million. The film made $52.1 million in its second weekend, a drop of 23%, as well as $10.1 million on New Year's Eve and $16.8 million on New Year's Day. The film then remained in first place for a third consecutive weekend, grossing $31 million. The film made $17.4 million in its fourth weekend of release but was dethroned by The Upside, which exceeded expectations to become STX Films' first #1 box office opening with $20.4 million. In China, where the film was released 2 weeks prior to its US debut, the film made $24.6 million, 169.5 million yen, on its first day, representing 86% of the market share and setting a Warner Bros. Opening day record in the country. It went on to debut at $93.6 million, 644.8 million yen, marking the best ever opening for the DCEU, Warner Bros., and a December release in the country. It overtook the entire lifetime gross of Wonder Woman there in just 3 days. The film grossed $12.99 million on Monday, thus crossing $100 million, $107.7 million. By Thursday, its 5th day, the film had made $135.3 million, surpassing the lifetime totals of every solo Marvel Cinematic Universe film. As of April 4, 2019, the film had grossed $298.33 million in China. In the Philippines, Aquaman is the biggest Warner Bros. And DC film of all time, with a cumulative gross of PHP 536.4 million, surpassing Justice League and becoming the 6th most successful film of all time in the country. The film became the highest-grossing film of the decade in Romania. On review aggregator, Rotten Tomatoes, the film holds an approval rating of 66% based on 383 reviews with an average rating of 6.04/10. The website's critical consensus reads, Aquaman swims with its entertainingly ludicrous tide, offering up CGI superhero spectacle that delivers energetic action with an emphasis on good old-fashioned fun. Metacritic surveyed 50 critics' reviews and assessed 22 as positive, 21 as mixed, and 7 as negative. The website assigned an aggregate score of 55 out of 100, indicating mixed or average reviews. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of a- on an A+ to F scale, while those at PostTrack gave it an 82% overall positive score and a 69% definite recommend. Peter Debreuge of Variety criticized the dialogue but praised Wan's direction, the production design, and the final act, writing, "The biggest surprise here is how, after the running time of a standard-length film has elapsed, Aquaman suddenly kicks the movie up a level for the finale. At just the moment this critics' eyes tend to glaze over in superhero movies, typically, as the villain goes nuclear and a portal to another dimension opens, threatening to destroy the planet, Wan unleashes a massive deep-sea battle on a par with The Lord of the Rings." Germain Lussier of IO9 wrote, "Aquaman is all about spectacle. It's filled with ambition. It's always about trying to put the coolest, most imaginative sequence on screen at every single turn of the story, no matter what the cost." Writing for The Wrap, William Bibbiani called the film a weird and wonderful superhero adventure that strives, and almost succeeds, to be the most epic superhero movie ever made. Writing for Rolling Stone, Peter Travers gave the film 2.5 out of 5 stars, praising Wan's ambition and Momoa's performance but criticizing the plot and dialogue, writing, "Aquaman is a mess of clashing tones and shameless silliness, but a relief after all the franchise's recent superhero boom." Chris Nashamwadi of Entertainment Weekly graded the film a C-, writing, "It can't decide if it wants to be silly or serious, a superhero movie or parody of one. Unfortunately, the bloated, waterlogged film is loaded with crummy CGI, cheesy costumes, and runner dialogue delivered by actors who are too good to traffic in such nonsense." For the Chicago Tribune, Michael Phillips gave the film 1.5 stars out of 4, criticizing the film's script and Wan's direction, saying, "Watching this movie is like spending 2 hours and 27 minutes staring at a gigantic aquarium full of digital sea creatures and actors on wires, pretending to swim." Mazaller Sites of RogerEbert.com gave Aquaman 3.5 out of 4 stars, positively comparing the film to SpongeBob SquarePants in its lack of concern for scientific accuracy, along with praising the treatment of characters crying as a normal byproduct of pain or joy instead of a shameful loss of dignity. Sites stated that it takes skill to be as ridiculous as this movie.